Right, Paul, thank you. The race to the finish line at the Capitol has turned into a crawl on the final day of the regular session.
Yeah, partisan battles have slowed things to a turtle's pace today. Governor Tim Walz is meeting with legislators tonight and trying to keep last week's global deal together.
So I signed my name to a deal. We all signed them on there. Those issues were discussed ahead of time, knowing that they were going to be the sticking points for some of their members. That's what leadership does. So, no, we're in a fine spot now. We should be wrapping these things up.
Fox 9's Corin Hoggard live at the Capitol tracking what's done and what's left to do. And so, Corin, where do they go from here?
Well, we go to the finish line, at least for the regular session, Kelsey and Randy, which that's a little less than 6 hours away, but at that point they will be nowhere close to finished. There are still 13 omnibus bills that have not passed, and at most tonight they're going to pass 3 of them. There could be none of them that passed. The leaders did tell us, though, that the deal they reached last week is not broken apart, but at the very least it seems to be bending uncomfortably.
For 3 weeks, we negotiated with the administration and with the House in a tie to reach joint targets. Every person in that room committed to doing the work to get this budget processed as swiftly as possible. And we've seen over and over again, particularly the House Republicans, adding new conditions and new ideas when budget bills are about to close.
I know there's been some concern about new conditions or whatever that they've been talking about, but the reality is that in the agreement that those leaders put together, I saw a draft of that in the final details. There is a lot of room for those conference committees to really figure out what the details are going to be in that. And so this isn't anything out of the blue.
They're still hearing from businesses, and there is bipartisan desire to make additional changes to paid family medical leave before it even rolls out. That was not part of the global agreement, but yet if there is a desire to do that here in the legislature, that could be part of things as we move forward.
I don't think there's change, really. We have a deal. We have a full budget deal. We have discussed at the leadership table that where we don't have agreement on policy, nothing can happen. We fully debated at the leadership table GOP requests to change paid family medical leave, the Nursing Home Workforce Standards Board. We fully dealt with their issues on reinsurance. I think that a couple other matters, and we got as far as we could get.
So it seems like maybe this is a deal in name only. Now, we know Governor Walz, when we spoke to him earlier today, said that he does not want to call a special session until almost all of this is ready to go, and maybe they can do it in a single day, but that seems pretty far away at this point, so that special session probably at least a week away and maybe even further. Live at the Capitol, Corin Hoggard, Fox 9.
Well, there you go. Another special session.
Right. They need a lot more time to get this done. Thank you, Corin. Thanks, Ian. Well, it's a race to the finish line at the state capitol. The legislative session deadline is now midnight, and it looks like a special session is going to be inevitable. Fox 9's Corin Hoggard is live at the Capitol for us tonight. And so, Corin, how close are they to actually wrapping up all the details of the state budget for the next 2 years?
Kelsey, they are not very close at all, to be honest. We know that there are 20 of these big omnibus bills that have to fly through both sides of the legislature, and so far 7 of them have made it. That leaves 13 of these giant bills, not to mention some of the smaller standalone bills that they have to vote on. So even tonight, we know maybe 3 of those omnibus bills could reach the House floor, but I just checked like literally seconds ago. None of those conference committees that would generate the final conference report that goes into the House here and the Senate over there for votes is actually meeting right now. So we're very, very far away from finishing this, Kelsey.
Yeah, this can be so difficult to bring everybody together on these issues. What are the main holdups, though?
Yeah, a lot of new little things are kind of popping up, but the big ones are still the same ones they've been maybe for the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks or so. We know that undocumented immigrants getting min care is a big issue here. It was part of the universal global agreement that most of the leaders signed off on, where they would cut adult undocumented immigrants out of that care and leave children in it. But that bill has gone nowhere. That is part of the health and Human Services Department, so one of the bigger places where money goes here, and those bills have not passed at this point. That one still stuck. Education bill is another one of the biggest bills, and that one hasn't gone anywhere at this point. And so those are big sticking points. The unemployment insurance there for some of the seasonal school workers was a big hang-up. Private school funding for students was a big hang-up in the education area, and those just have not reached agreement. And there are smaller things in a lot of these other bills as well that are kind of holding everything up.
But there was a deal announced last week, so what happened there?
I call that a deal in name only. It's kind of a thing that they're trying to keep it together, but it sounds like pieces of it are falling apart. So, nobody wants to admit that they're the ones reneging on the deal, but I will say that Speaker of the House Lisa Dameth has admitted that they are looking back on paid family and medical leave, which was in this agreement. They weren't going to make a major change to it. They were going to charge a 0.1% less to employers to kind of fund this paid family and medical leave for the state. And they're not trying to change that, but they are looking at maybe taking smaller businesses out of it. And the reason that Speaker of the House Dameth says they are willing to kind of break that part of the agreement is because over in the Senate, there are Democrats who are willing to do it. And so was part of the agreement. Doesn't look like that will stick. Maybe the rest of it will. It's still to be determined.
Yeah, the bottom line is get ready for a special session. All right. Thank you, Corin Hoggard, at the Capitol tonight.